chat to Rob Cavastani last week about the upcoming Australian tour, and he's certainly looking forward to it. And of course, you're playing with Death Angel when you come down. So, what can fans expect from the show that Sepultura is bringing to Australia?
It's great, great opportunity to be back with a new album, especially with our friends from Death Angel. We did some tours before, and now we go into New Zealand, Australia together. And, it's the second year of touring of Machine Messiah, an album that was really well received by the fans and the press in general. And we are playing a lot of the new stuff, we're playing a lot of the new material, about 5 to 6 songs. And I think since Chaos AD, we don't do that, play so many new songs from a new album, which is a great sign. A lot of people really listening to the album from start to end, knowing the songs, and they really grasp the whole vibe and
concept,
the idea of the album, the concept and everything, So it's great, it feels great. Of course, we have room to play all the Sepultura career, especially now that we are celebrating 20 years of Derek in the group, So
yes.
The idea is to bring some B-sides or C-sides, we don't play a long time.
Yeah.
And do some, celebration of the new stuff and of course playing the classics as well, no?
So, yeah, we did have a chat a bit over 12 months ago about Machine Messiah, and you're justifiably proud of the album. I think it's one of your best, actually, to be frank, and I'm not just saying that. I'm a long-time fan of Sepultura, so I've been following your career since at least Chaos AD or so, way back in the day.
Thank you.
So the album has been in market over 12 months. Where do you think it fits in the overall canon of work that you've produced in Sepultura? We did the whole celebration of 30 years of Sepultura. We did a tour celebrating that, and some we did a logo. We did the movie. The movie came out last year. We were, dealing with remembering the past and stories and going through our archives and stuff like that, Yep.
And it felt like we were closing a big volume of our career with many chapters, on this first 30 years. And Machine Messiah seems to be a beginning of a new volume of our career, opening new possibilities for us. I mean, musically and lyrically and everything, I think almost like the same as Roots, open a lot of new possibilities for us. Or I should say Chaos AD, I think, because Chaos AD was the first album that really, I think Sepultura found our own sound,
Agreed.
Bringing the Brazilian groove and the Brazilian percussion instruments and vibes, and and I think Machine Messiah, it has that same effect on ourselves. It's like a really opening new possibilities, with new instruments. And Eloy Casagrande is an amazing drummer who brought, he can play anything, so it really opened new ideas for me to write and everything. So it seems like a new start of another 30 years. Let's hope.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think I think it's probably your best album cover art too that you've ever produced for the band. And
yes,
we had a chat about that with the Filipino artist that did that for you. But I still stare at that and get something out of it after I've looked at it for a few. I've looked at it many times, but I still like looking at it. The choice of color. It's one of those album covers where it really matches the music contained in the album.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, man. And it actually, the cover really inspired us because we found the cover really early on the process, because we already had the name, and I was looking in the internet, like I said, looking for an artist and stuff. And we found that painting while we were still, in the early stages of doing the pre-production and writing material and everything. So in a sense, the artwork really was there, giving that direction of new possibilities, very colorful. We have songs like Machine Messiah and Iceberg Dances and I Am the Enemy. There are different colors musically there as well, So in a sense, the artwork really helped us to write the album as well. It was great.
So let's talk about some of your earlier material. So Dave Mustaine, I think, was asked, and I think they're considering re-recording Killing Is My Business and Business Is Good. He and I think David Ellison actually mentioned it, sorry. But would you ever
consider re-recording earlier material from Morbid Visions and Schizophrenia with the current lineup you've got?
No, man, I don't see myself or Sepultura doing that. I think it's, with all due respect to the bands who does that, I'm not judging anyone,
Yeah.
I mean, everyone have their reasons to do. I know bands that did that because of contract and label problems and, all that kind of stuff. But, I don't see ourselves doing something like that. It's, first of all, it's too easy to do that. It's like the album is done, the songs are known and everything. So, I don't know. I don't think it's fair to history. It is what it is. We all, we all the studio we use and the sound that was not good enough and all the equipment. It is what it is. I mean, that's the beauty of it all. We managed to create that sound with all the difficult things we had, and we have another mind and another. We were young and whatever. There's so many variables, that's,
no, I understand.
I don't know. I think it's a waste. I think it's a waste of time, for us at least.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I remember when Sharon re-recorded, or she's obviously Ozzy's manager, but remember when she re-recorded or got the musicians in to re-record the first two albums and how shit and just awful it sounded. It was really, really bad.
That was horrible, man. I mean, there's no sense. I mean, I understand, people fight with lawyers and contracts and what is written, what is not. But to get to that level, to that point, I mean, what's the point? Who's going to listen to that? There's nothing there. There's no chemistry. There's no reason to do something like that.
That run. I mean, these are my comments, of course. That one really surprised me that it even whoever was the engineer. So lining everything up in Pro Tools or whatever it was, that was off. Like the drums didn't match Randy's guitar playing. It was horrendous. It was like as if it was a school project that was released for mass consumption.
Yeah, man. You name it. I mean, especially because Randy Rhoads not even here. I mean, he wrote that stuff. It's like insane. It's so disrespectful.
Absolutely.
Not only for Randy's legacy, but for Ozzy fans. But I mean, it's something that I wouldn't like to see. Somebody doing something with Sepultura albums like that. Changing the drums, or the singer or something. It's crazy. Crazy.
Hey, let's talk about Paulo Jr. because I don't see much copy from him on the web. In other words, he doesn't get interviewed very often. I actually don't know. I haven't been able to find any copy where you've been asked the question. But what's your take on his contribution to the Sepultura legacy? In other words, is he an essential component of the Sepultura sound?
Oh yeah, definitely. He's the bass player of Sepultura. He's not a bass player that likes to play any other style. He doesn't enjoy jamming with other people and stuff like that. He plays for Sepultura, and he's the best player that we could have. He's there from the start, from the beginning. He knows where we're coming from, and on crucial times, when we have to decide the important things here and there, his input is crucial, because he has the history, he has the heritage, he knows people since the start, he knows the roots of everything, and he's not a composer, but he's there with his bass, every time on practice, building his own style, he writes his own arrangements and everything. And that's his part of the band, and that's where we find our balance, and it's he has the sound, he has a very unique way of playing the bass that you cannot really hear anywhere. He's not a virtuoso on the respect of doing fast scales and all that stuff, But he's a virtuoso on the heaviness, on the right note at the right place. You have to remember that he in 30 or 34 years of Sepultura, he played with four different drummers, which for a bass player is very, it's very hard, really to adapt himself and to rearrange old stuff with new drummers and everything. And he's there, he never let it down, and he's a great professional who grew up a lot, because he didn't use even to record his bass, in the beginning. But but he managed to face his fears and his phobias, and really he's the best thing that the Sepultura needs for the bass. I couldn't see anyone.
Nobody else could have done it. Yeah.
Better. I think the way I write, the way I play, I owe a lot to Paulo. Because we played together for so many years that unconsciously, he's a part of my style and vice versa. We complete each other.
He strikes me as having been a very good right-hand man to you through so many challenges that the band has faced over its history. Does that sound about right?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, definitely. The mediator.
The mediator.
Sometimes. It didn't work very well with the Cavaleiros, but
You're tuned in to Z Digital.
When you look back over your extraordinary career, mate, so what are you into your fourth decade now as a professional musician? It must be close to that. What are you most proud of?
Well, to be here now, to have this 34 years behind me with the beautiful history, the up and downs, the conquers, the victories, the mistakes, everything. I think that's the best feeling of all, to be here with the Machine Messiah, with Nuclear Blast, with the fans we have. It's fantastic. That's our biggest victory. To be a band, to still be a band today, relevant, a band that like each other. We respect each other. We are friends, which is very difficult. During to be in this business, you know how it is. Bands, you in the end they go there. A lot of them are there just for the business, for the money and for whatever. But of course we have this part here in Sepultura, but we enjoy being with each other. We go to dinner together. We talk about different topics and women and football or whatever. We have a normal life, which is great. I mean, it's not necessary to hate each other to be a success, like rock and roll history teaches. But I think that's the biggest victory, to have a band that it's very well balanced. On and off stage, that's very difficult to achieve, and I think we are in a great momentum.
Got there, yeah. Well, Derek's added a lot since he's come on board, hasn't he? I mean, to your point, 20 years, and I think you've released twice the number of albums with him than what you did with Max.
Yes. Yes, 20 years, twice the time as well, and I think, it seems we made the right choice.
Oh, clearly, yeah. I mean, it was one of those things.
Regardless of all the criticism, all the ifs and, all the opinions are there, and we respect them all. Of course, we knew changing singers, especially a singer like Max, which is very charismatic and very present on stage and on the way he speaks and everything, would be very difficult, But here we are. I mean, it was difficult. It was very difficult, and still is, and it will be forever, But every step we took it was a step forward, and when we did to step back, because we need to rearrange and reorganize things, and always with a heads up, and looking forward. And Derek was a perfect choice for us because. He represented the new, a new guy. Nobody knew him. He's a totally different guy from Max, totally different style, different background, different influences. And that's what Sepultura is all about, respect the differences, I mean, there are many other bands that really found like kind of clones, to replace and stuff. And that's fine for them. But for Sepultura, it was really important to have somebody, original and somebody fresh. And not somebody who could copy or try to imitate Max, we were running away from that, but it's great that they're still here and with us and very motivated. I mean, he grew up so much on stage and off stage. I think he made his best performance ever on Machine Messiah, not only, singing, but also writing lyrics and everything, so it's great, man. I mean, it's a guy that I talked a lot. We exchange ideas, books and documentaries, and that's how we create and find the words and song titles and stuff like that, which is a very healthy relationship, which is important. It's awesome.
Yeah, no, I agree with it, all the sentiment. I agree with everything you've said there. So my next question, I've been wanting to ask you this for some time, okay? Because of course, you get a lot of questions about the past, and I won't refer to any of it individually, but sites like Blabbermouth, Invisible Oranges. I mean, I wouldn't say every day, but every week or maybe every month, there's some sort of a reference to Max and Sepultura. In terms of you quoted constantly, Max is quoted constantly. Mate, how do you keep your cool and not lose your shit when you get asked about it all the time? And the keyboard warriors, they get involved, blah, blah, this album's this and this album's that, and Max is the best and Derek is this. Or how do you deal with that shit, if you don't mind me asking? I know it's a difficult question in one respect, and I'm not trying to buy into it at all, but I've always admired the way you've handled yourself in that regard.
Oh, thank you. I mean, it is a part of our life, we like it or not. I mean, this is something that we have to deal. And we deal with that. We don't go to interviews and say, "Oh, you're forbidden to mention Caballeros" or something like that. I mean, this kind of shit creates tension, creates mystery. That stupid shit. We respond to everything. I mean, we have no, let's say, no secrets. We have no sensationalism. I don't know if that's the word, but
you're very accommodating. In other words, you answer questions.
Yeah, it's like we just talk about. Of course, it's kind of boring, sometimes because people try to, I don't know, they try to reunite the band with a question.
Yes.
They don't want to know about, or they just want to try to.
They live in the past. They live in the past. And I think with clickbait culture, I've asked a lot of artists. I've spoken to a lot of artists about this, but what do you do?
And at the end, it's their problem. It's their problem if they like or don't like. I mean, it's not our problem at all.
Exactly.
I mean, we're not here to please everyone. I mean, I respect the fact that you like Sepultura, whatever formation or phase of the band, and that's enough for me. I respect that. That's great, and you have all the rights to think about whatever you want to and like whatever you like, but it is a part. I mean, it's something that is less and less as we go forward. Nowadays we're doing so many different stuff, compared to what Max is doing, and we are very very different bands, very different approach to music and lyrics and everything. It's like very different, but people still insist to put us on the same pot, because Max always talk about Sepultura, and he does Roots tour and all that stuff, and even a lot of people are confused about that, but we're here, we're here in 2018, living the present and respecting the past and building a future. That's what we do, and that's why we enjoy what we are, and that part, our past, it is what it is, and we face the challenges.
No, good on you, mate. Final question. I've been wanting to ask you this one for a while too. Actually, I didn't get it out last time we had a chat. So, you did have a friendship, and you did tour with Chuck Schuldiner back in the day. Is that correct?
Not really. I mean, Max was the guy who really exchanged some letters. I guess with Chuck, with Mile from Creator, and I think Morbid Angel as well.
Yep.
And we have that kind of communication through mail. I never met Chuck, unfortunately. I never seen that with him. And I'm pretty sure Max never met him as well. Even though we record the album in Florida, in Tampa, but we never managed to meet, unfortunately. But I mean, Chuck was one of the main influences for Sepultura in the beginning of the career, for Bestial Devastation and Morbid Visions and Schizophrenia, even, that was really a big influence, for sure.
Okay, good on you, mate. Mate, I better let you go. Thank you so much for answering my questions and for taking time out to have a chat. I'll certainly be in the Brisbane show, mate, so I'll be throwing the horns up for you.
Awesome. Great, man.
Okay,
see you
mate.
soon, dude.
Thanks a lot, mate.
Thank you. Bye.
Z Digital.
I saw this many times, smothered by the words
You are listening to Scars and Guitars on 4ZZZ, Z Digital, and also via my podcast series. My name is Andrew McKaysmith, and that was my discussion with the legendary guitarist from Brazilian metal gods, Sepultura, Andreas Kisser. The track playing in the background is, of course, a Sepultura track. It is the final track from the newish album from Sepultura, Machine Messiah. It is called Cyber God. And the track that was played about 10 minutes ago or so, not that long ago, halfway through the discussion at least, you know the one I'm talking about, that is called Althea, and of course that is also from the new album from Sepultura, newish album from Sepultura. Should I say it again? I'll go there. Machine Messiah. Machine Messiah. Go and get streaming, or preferably buy copy of the album, a copy of the album, so as though the band can get some royalties, real royalties, because streaming doesn't really pay that much. It doesn't. No, it doesn't. Okay. Let's just turn the track up. Thanks so much for listening. Bye.